2020's been and gone, and like the time Iron Man had a nose for a few issues, it won't be missed. But as we head into a new year of optimistic uncertainty, never before have we so desperately needed superheroes to look up to and video games to play while we're stuck in the house. At the start of every year, I like to put together the most comprehensive guide to upcoming games starring our favourite costumed cavorters, from confirmed titles to rampant speculation on rumours and everything in between. Hey heroes, I'm Josh from Panels to Pixels, and this is every upcoming Marvel and DC game you can look forward to playing in 2021 and beyond. Between Spider-Man Miles Morales, Iron Man VR, and the massive Marvel Fortnite crossover, 2020 was a cracking year for Marvel games, with title after title being released to rave reviews. Nothing but wins, baby, hit after hit after hit. And on a completely unrelated note, Marvel's Avengers also came out. Man, I thought my year was bad, but at least I didn't lose $60 million on what should have been a license to print money. But while Earth's mightiest heroes might have flopped harder than Dick Fosbury at the 1968 Summer Olympics, the game's developers over at Crystal Dynamics are determined to super soldier on, promising much more content, bug fixes, and quality of life improvements in the coming year. So what does that look like? Well, after the recent release of the game's first additional playable character, Kate Bishop, along with new story content, the next chapter is touted for an early 2021 release. In an Operation event titled Future Imperfect, players can look forward to taking aim as Clint Barton, aka the OG Hawkeye. We already got a short teaser for this expansion which showed a dystopian future landscape and the Maestro sitting on a throne of shattered shields and crushed costumes. Now, I'm a huge fan of the original Future Imperfect story from the comics, and I've got to tell you, this teaser actually got me really, genuinely, unironically excited to get back into the game. In terms of future heroes joining the ranks of Marvel's Avengers, we know that Spider-Man will be a PlayStation exclusive character, although we don't know when he'll be swinging into the game. We also know that Black Panther and War Machine will soon be joining the fray thanks to teasers from the developers, plus some leaked character art. Beyond that though, unconfirmed rumours and leaks have pointed to several characters including Ant-Man, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Falcon, Vision, Scarlet Witch, She-Hulk, Wasp, and the Winter Soldier. The next-gen versions, or I guess current-gen versions, of Marvel's Avengers are also set to arrive at some point in 2021, after some delays. And look, okay, Avengers wasn't the game we were all hoping for, but in 6 months' time, if Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics make good on all of their promises, and you can pick this game up for half price or less, this is going to be one hell of a package for fans of smashing aim and taking names. When the partnership between Marvel and Square Enix was first announced back in 2017, it was said to be a multi-year, multi-game agreement, and Eurogamer reported that one of those games would centre around the Guardians of the Galaxy, and be developed by Eidos Montreal. I think most assumed that this too would be a live service, online multiplayer game, and after the huge swing and a miss of Avengers, I'm not holding my breath on this one. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to play as everybody's favourite ragtag bunch of extraterrestrial a-holes, but unless we hear anything new about this project soon, I'm going to file it under don't count on it. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales launched just a couple of months ago for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, bringing with it a remastered version of Insomniac's Spidey title, featuring lots of familiar faces and one less familiar face. But regardless of how you feel about Peter Parker's new look, the release has secured the webhead's place as a prominent player in Sony's next-gen plans, and fans are already clamouring for a proper sequel. We don't know for sure what stage of development Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is in, but a larger-scale PS5 game that reunites both Peter and Miles seems like an inevitability at this point. And finally, we've still yet to hear anything about the collaboration between Marvel and Second Dinner that was announced back in early 2019. I don't normally cover mobile titles here on Panels to Pixels, but with the team behind this project being made up of former Blizzard developers who worked on the hugely successful collectible card game Hearthstone, I am definitely keeping an eye on this one. On Second Dinner's official site, the newly formed studio expresses excitement about developing a game in the world of Spider-Man, the Avengers, and the X-Men, as well as Hellcow, the vampiric cow, and Throg, the mighty frog of thunder, although I'm pretty sure they're just joking about those last two. The developers also promised that they're working on a prototype already, and that it, quote, might just be the most fun thing ever in the history of fun. Strong words, strong, bewildering words. Hot off the presses as I record this video, Arcade1Up, the makers of 3/4 size arcade cabinets for nerdy bachelors and wealthy executives, have just announced the latest in a line of Marvel cabs, and this is the one that fans have been crying out for, a 4-player version of 1992's X-Men arcade game. Developed by Konami and based on the failed Pride of the X-Men animated pilot from a few years prior, this side-scrolling beat-em-up really needs no introduction thanks to its iconic gameplay and unforgettable dialogue.
X-Men, welcome to die!
For the first time, Arcade1Up are including built-in Wi-Fi to the cabinet so that you can team up with friends for online 4-player co-op. Also included in the package is another classic Marvel side-scroller, Captain America and the Avengers, and obscure fighting title The Avengers in Galactic Storm. This is kind of a weird grouping of games if you ask me, but it's not like I'll ever be able to afford one of these things anyway. Which seems like as good a time as any to talk to you about supporting Panels to Pixels on Patreon. Ugh, shameless. For as little as $1 per month, you can help the channel grow, allow me to keep leveling up the quality of my videos, and help me achieve my dream of one day owning a 4-player X-Men arcade cabinet. It's a win-win-win! There are tons of cool rewards up there for those who do support the show, including extra videos, behind-the-scenes content, a members-only Discord server, plus shoutouts and credits in every video. So if you enjoy what I do here on Panels to Pixels and you want to give a little back, please head to patreon.com/panelstopixels. Thanks. Before we go across the street to look at titles coming from the distinguished competition, I do just want to talk about Fortnite for a second, which, love it or hate it, has essentially become a Marvel game, plus a DC game, plus a Star Wars, John Wick, Halo, God of War, Ghostbusters, Stranger Things, Walking Dead. This game is the 21st century equivalent of making your G.I. Joes fight your He-Man figures, and honestly, I'm 100% here for it. Fortnite is the biggest game on the planet right now, and with new Marvel and DC characters like Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Taskmaster, the Joker, Harley Quinn and Green Arrow being introduced as of the last few weeks, I expect to see many more licensed superhero characters leaping from the battle bus in 2021. Alright, it's DC time, and after years and years of rumours and speculation about when we'd next get another Arkham game, or what developers Rocksteady were working on, those questions were finally answered back in August thanks to the online DC Fandom event. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is the long-rumoured but now officially confirmed upcoming game from Rocksteady Studios. Set in the Arkhamverse, this action-adventure title for PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and Series S allows players to take control of the titular team of anti-heroes to defeat a brainwashed Justice League. We don't know for sure how many DC villains will form this version of Task Force X, but we do have 4 confirmed playable characters in Harley Quinn, Deadshot, King Shark and Captain Boomerang. Although the game will be playable in single-player mode, the team-based nature of the #squad allows for up to 4-player online multiplayer. At one point before it was officially announced, there were some rumblings about Rocksteady's Suicide Squad game being a live service game, but the frosty reception to Marvel's Avengers may well have encouraged Warner Bros. To play that element down in the final release. Plenty of people were quick to dismiss the reveal trailer's mic drop moment of an evil Superman as a tired trope, particularly at a time when DC and Warner Bros. Appear to be depriving audiences of a more traditional, optimistic version of the Man of Steel. And look, they're not wrong, but personally, I'm just jazzed to see what Rocksteady have been up to, and to explore an open-world metropolis that belongs to the same universe as the Arkham games. How cool is that going to be? Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is slated for a 2022 release, but DC fans won't have to wait quite so long to get their video game fix, thanks to Gotham Knights. Here's another game that was rumoured and teased for a long time under the guise of a Batman Court of Owls game. WB Montreal, the developers behind the criminally underrated Batman Arkham Origins, are returning to Gotham City for an open-world action RPG based around the Bat family. Players get to take control of 4 of the Dark Knight's BFFs, as Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin and Red Hood, with each having their own unique playstyles and abilities. The game can be played entirely in solo, but the focus of the game's mechanics appear to be on the 2-player co-op mode. Weirdly, this game is not set in the Arkhamverse, despite featuring many of the same characters and centering around the apparent death of Bruce Wayne. You know, the exact way that the last Arkham game ended. But hey, forget about that because now you can ride the Batcycle. Gotham Knights is set to be released at some point in 2021 for PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. Back in 2018, it was revealed that WB Montreal had been working on not 1 but 2 games based on the DC universe, We now know that one of those games is Gotham Knights, but very little is known about the other project. Job listings posted on the studio's site point to a third-person open-world action game. As the hype train starts picking up speed for Gotham Knights, I wouldn't expect to hear anything official on this mystery game anytime soon, but suffice to say that the future is looking bright for DC video game fans. And finally, back in 2019, fans of Telltale's The Wolf Among Us were pleasantly surprised when a second season was announced at that year's Game Awards. If you're not familiar with this fan favourite franchise, The Wolf Among Us is an episodic adventure game based on DC's Fables comic. It's generally considered to be one of the best titles to come from Telltale games, alongside their adaptations of other comic book properties like Batman and The Walking Dead. A second season was first announced in 2017, but when Telltale was forced to shut up shop the following year, most assumed that the book had been closed on Bigby Wolf and his world of fables. Fast forward to 2021 and we still don't have a confirmed release date for The Wolf Among Us 2, which is being developed by a newly reformed version of the once defunct studio. But just last month, an update on the game was posted on Telltale's Twitter account, which stated, "We know you're excited to hear more about The Wolf Among Us 2, and we look forward to telling you more when the time is right. What we can say is that we are developing the entire season at once, and there is more to do before we're ready to share what's next for the Fabletown gang. It's just not time yet." If you love games in which you get to play as a hero who saves lives, I've got an extra special recommendation just for you. It's called 2020 May Be Over, but this shit isn't. So keep washing your hands, keep wearing masks, and keep your filthy selves to yourselves. Because I don't know about you, but I would love to be able to hug my family this year instead of watching them try to navigate the scary world of video conferencing. The unmute button is in the exact same place it's been for the last 9 months, Auntie Janet. Jesus fuck. I love you, heroes. Stay safe, take the vaccine, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.